Uber out with a big announcement. They are expanding the number of electric vehicles on the platform, all in an effort to cut pollution. Today, the company is launching a so-called Comfort Electric product. It's going to be in 15 new cities and states, bringing the total program rollout to 25 cities and states all across North America. You see them on your screen now. Now, in an exclusive interview with Uber's CEO, senior national and environmental correspondent Ben Tracy got an inside look at the company's plan to cut those planet-warming emissions.
This is making me realize that this car must be really fun in this city. You cannot beat this view. Look at that.
This is awesome. Absolutely spectacular.
Very nice.
It's hard to compete with this kind of scenery in San Francisco, but Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi hopes riders will also appreciate the view inside the car, one of 26,000 electric vehicles now on Uber's platform.
So it's turned out to be a great inspiration, both for riders, but especially drivers, to go out and go electric.
Uber has quadrupled its EV fleet in the U.S., Canada, and Europe in the past year, and plans to double it to 50,000 vehicles next year. All part of its new product called Comfort Electric.
It's a Tesla, a Polestar, a Ford Mach-E. These are great cars.
What is kind of the end goal of putting so many more EVs on your platform?
By 2030, we have a target to be fully electric in the US, Canada, and Europe.
By 2030, will a driver who is driving a gas-powered vehicle be allowed on your platform?
No. If we're doing our job, we're going to be all electric.
In the U.S., transportation is the single largest source of planet-warming greenhouse gas emissions.
Beautiful. We have the Uber logo. I love it.
Uber is trying to slash its carbon footprint.
Hello.
How's it going?
By incentivizing its drivers to switch to EVs.
But these are not cheap.
No, they're not cheap. We need electric vehicles that cost $20,000, $30,000 versus $50,000 to $60,000.
Uber says it's going to spend $800 million to offset some costs for its drivers. It's paying them an extra $1 for every EV trip they make and providing discounts on charging. Uber is partnering with Hertz, where drivers can now rent Teslas on a weekly or monthly basis.
No pressure. I know it's not every day.
No
you
problem.
have the CEO of Uber in your backseat.
It's so very true.
Yeah,
I can't.
no worries.
We're told he has a good rating and he's a good passenger.
Uber driver Melissa Gilgan has been renting this red Tesla since March. Now that she's avoiding the pain at the pump in California, she says she's making $200 more per week driving the Tesla.
I don't know about you, but $200 a week adds up, you know.
Really does.
For me, that's like, in my family, that's like a, week's worth of groceries right there.
And she says going electric has boosted tips from her riders.
Oh, they absolutely love the Tesla. They're so excited. I get less cancellations, actually. They'll wait a little longer for me.
Very cool.
On the downside, I will tell you, I have noticed that sometimes it takes a bit of time to get one of these drivers, and the ride's more expensive.
The more electric cars we have in a particular market, the more the waiting time comes down and pricing can come down as well.
Uber says its goal is to be the cleanest and safest transportation platform on the planet. But its latest safety report shows that in 2020, the company received reports of 141 rapes and 998 incidents of sexual assault between drivers and passengers. And that was during the height of COVID lockdowns, when far fewer people were using Uber.
99.9% of Uber trips are completely safe, no incidents whatsoever. But we want to be held accountable, which is why we were the first company out there to publish a comprehensive safety report.
The very fact that you have to put out a report, though, does seem to lend credence to the fact that it's a big problem here.
The fact that these incidents are happening is a big problem.
He says Uber is adding new safety features, including Ride Check, where if a car stops unexpectedly, Uber will contact the rider or driver to make sure things are okay.
Have you considered allowing women in particular to select the gender of their driver?
We've definitely considered that, and we have tested that in some countries. There are significantly more male drivers than women drivers. So a woman would have to wait a long time if she wanted specifically a woman driver.
Most of my passengers have never been in a Tesla.
Melissa Gilgan is unique, a female Uber driver behind the wheel of an EV. But the boss in the back seat sees a future with a lot more of both on the road.
Because if we want to get to zero emissions by 2030, there's a lot of work to do. Like the momentum is great, but most of the work is ahead of us, not behind us.
For CBS Mornings, I'm Ben Tracy in San Francisco.
Okay, looked like a five-star ride to me. I want to know what Dara, the CEO's rider rating is. I'll say, because mine is a 4.74, and it frustrates me that I'm not above 4.75. But I don't know what good is.
But I love that the drivers get to rank you. I like that.
I love that. Yeah.
And I like the point that they were making, though, about electric cars, because I've now come around to my next car, when I get one, is I think it should be electric. You can't, after you hear all the information, you can't help but think, what can I do, and how can I do it?
Yeah. And I commend
the fact that they're doing that.
By 2030 to be all electric, that's the goal.
Yeah, the assault numbers were a little jarring to hear.
Whoa, yeah.
Which I never understand, because they're tracking you. They track you when you get the car. They track you when you're inside the car. But I'm glad they're planning to address that too. Nicely done, Ben, and always good to see Dara.